This is the notes for Unit 9, comparing volumes. In our example, Metroplex Movie Theater serves their popcorn in a box. It's a rectangular prism. At Cineplex, they serve in a cylindrical container. Okay, so a cylinder versus my rectangular prism. Based upon the given dimensions, where are you getting the most popcorn? The most popcorn being the most stuff inside of this, so this time we're looking for volume. Okay, so I'm just going to write that here to the side. So if I'm finding my volume, which one has more inside? At Metroplex, my base is a rectangle that's 4 by 5. Okay, so I can highlight that 4 here if you want. So my base of my picture is that rectangle that was 4 by 5. So I had 20 pieces of popcorn stacked 10 high. So we did our base times my height. So how much inside? 20 pieces of popcorn times 10 high gives me 200. Since we were using inches, I'm going to go ahead and label it as inches cubed. I did an inch times an inch times an inch, so my volume is inches to the 3rd power. Okay. Over here in my cylinder, this time my base is a circle. Okay. However, they gave us the diameter of 6, and we know to find the area of a circle, I need my radius. So if the whole way across is 6, my radius should be 3. Okay, so my area of the base is pi times r squared. So I use my radius of 3. And then we're taking that times the height of 8 inches. My volume is the area of the base times the height. My base being the circle, so pi times radius squared, the height of 8. My answer this time, 3.14 times 3 times 3 times 8 is 226.1, and it's still inches cubed. My pi does not have a label, but I did inches times inches times inches, so I still have inches cubed again. Okay, so to answer our question, which one gives you the most popcorn, the most stuff inside? I would go with my cylinder. That one has the most for my volume. Okay. What I also want to go ahead and show you today, though, for the project, we're also going to compare the surface area. Just go and write that below it. And remember, the surface area is how much cardboard it would require the movie theater in order to make their box. So if we start with our rectangular shape, let's go on and unfold that net. On the bottom, we had a 4 by 5. That was here on the bottom. Okay. Then, stretching it out on this length, I had another box. That one was 4 by 10. That's my up and down. And then we also have, right over here on the side, our other box. I'm going to draw it this way. That one's a little wider. That one was 5 by 10. Okay. Keep in mind there's no lid on this, but then I would wrap around and get the other side of my box. And that one also would be 4 by 10. Okay, so when I unfolded my net, keep in mind there wasn't a lid on it this time. So I used the bottom. These are my sides, and then my 5s are the other sides. In order to find surface area, then we add up each of those separate areas. So 4 times 5 is 20. So with this rectangle had an area of 20. 4 by 10, each of these had an area of 40. Keep in mind I do have 2 of those. And then 5 by 10, my other rectangle, that would have an area of 50. So when I add all those up, I have a surface area of 40 plus 40 plus 50 plus 50 plus 20. So all said and done, my surface area is 200. It's just a coincidence that matched this. That rarely happens, okay? Just a coincidence. but each time we took inches times inches, and I would get inches squared. Okay, so the difference being my volume is how much popcorn went inside. My surface area is how much I needed cardboard to wrap around the outside for my box. Okay, now let's try the same thing for the cylinder. So this time, when I unwrap my shape, I had a circle for the base. So there was my circle from last time. And then remember when we spread this out, that's our circumference. So I'm wrapping around the whole outside of this shape. So this is my circumference. Okay, circumference is my diameter times pi, or we could say, if we already have our radius here, 2 times the radius. So that's my diameter, and then when I spread that out, we take that times pi. Okay, so it's hard to see in the picture, but if I was to wrap this around, it's a little bit more than 3 times 6. So pi times my radius times 2, or times the diameter. So this one wrapping around, the length of the box would have been 18.84. And then my height is 8. Okay, so for surface area, we're doing 2 times pi times r. So we're doing 2 times 3 times pi. That was my rectangle, times by my height. So inside this box was 113.04. Right, so a little bit bigger surface area than what it took to wrap around that guy. And remember, we only have one circle. So the top of this normally would be another circle down here. But since it's popcorn, it's an open lid, I only need one circle for my formula. Okay, so if I take pi times 3 squared, times the radius squared from last time, the area of just the circle was 28.26. Okay, so then final answer, if I add those up, I have my rectangle and the circle. Surface areas when we add all of them together. I'd get 141 inches squared. Okay. So keep in mind, for the project, we're analyzing which one's better. You want a big surface area, that would cost you more money. Okay, bigger volume is the bigger container for how much is inside. Okay, so if I want the most volume, the biggest area inside of my box, the most that my container could hold, okay, but I'm actually looking for a smaller surface area because that's going to require less cardboard for me to make it. Okay, so in this case, if I was the movie theater selling it, it would cost me more for the popcorn because I would have more of it inside, but then it's a lot cheaper for my cardboard. Okay, so I would then